Welcome back, everybody. This is another trading recap. Okay, this is Tuesday, August 11th. I'm gonna get straight into it. All right, I opened the charts around 8:30 as usual this morning, and what did I first notice? I noticed an unmitigated Asia high, an unmitigated London low, as well as New York PM low, still unmitigated from yesterday's session. Right. So what did I do? I marked all those out. I also marked out New York AM low, because it is a relative equal low with Asia low from previous days. Okay, so I marked all those out. And the first thing I did notice that Asia session did sweep out New York high from yesterday. And I noticed Asia low was also swept out during London session overnight. Okay, so I got rid of both of those markings. All right, what else am I noticing? I'm noticing a lot of bearish movement coming in from overnight, right? This is a lot of bearish movement. This is a very volatile sell market, okay? So what did I do? I went and marked out all of my fair value gaps that I saw relative, okay? So we have this first initial 5 minute. So I marked it out. We also have another stacked 5 minute here, okay? So what does stacked fair value gaps indicate to me, right? They indicate support and as well as resistance. So in this case, I would treat these points of interest as resistance points, right? So obviously if we get this type of movement overnight during pre-market or Asia session, London session, this actually did come at the very end of Asia session last night, okay, right before London session opened at 2 in the morning, okay? So we see London session, very slow and choppy movement, right, for the most part. We did eventually come up, tag into these 5 minute fair value gaps and start to initially reject out of them, okay? So all I did was I dragged them over and I kept eye on them, okay? So now, as we inch closer to 9 o'clock, what do I see? I see another sweep, right? So what does this indicate to me? It indicates that we're gonna see a little bit of a choppy market during market open for New York session at 9:30. So I'm really not looking to force anything. If I don't catch a trade today, honestly, it doesn't bother me. Why? Because if I miss a trade, it costs me nothing. But if I force a trade, it could potentially lead to weeks, possible months of progress being lost. And that's not what we're into doing, right? We're into doing smart money moves, we're into making smart trades, and we're looking to stay patient and execute on delivery, right? We don't force anything, we don't hope for the best, we take what the market gives us and we execute as soon as our setup is presented to us, right? So now we're inching into 9:30 and it's just a bunch of sideways motion, right? Bunch of sideways motion. It is a choppy market. It is an accumulation state, right? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for the first initial sign of manipulation so I could target anything rejecting that level, right? So I marked out all these lows. As well as these equal highs up here, right? So now what am I looking for? I'm looking for one of these levels to get swept and then rejected off of, right? So I'm gonna drop down into the 1 minute just so I could really keep my eye on exactly what's going on minute to minute, right? Because this is a pretty choppy market, but it's still a volatile market, right? We see these big moves up and down in this little zone here, and it's because these double fair value gaps that are stacked up. Price is trying to figure out where it wants to go, what it wants to do off of these 5 minute stacked gaps, and so on and so forth, right? So what do we see just a couple minutes later? It is 9:40, right? So it is still very early in order to hop into a trade. I personally am not looking for anything right this moment, but what do we see here? We see a nice sweep and rejection from these stacked highs. Right, that is the first initial sign that I was looking for this morning prior to looking for an execution or to take a trade, okay? So now all I'm looking for is a clear sign of reversal and rejection. Now we get a second sweep of these highs. that is my indication that we are manipulating higher. Industries are trying to get retail traders in the market for buys when they really want to sell the market, right? And look what we see here, okay? So what do I first notice? I see this 1 minute bullish fair value gap getting tapped back into. So I mark it out. And all I want to see is I want to see a nice inversion of this 1 minute. Here, I'll take these 5 minutes away so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so this is the 1 minute fair value gap that I am now looking for a nice inversion and continuation from, right? It's still only 9:48, still very early in the market. I'm being very patient. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not automatically seeing all this bearish momentum coming into the market, and I don't just plug in a trade and hope for the best. You have to wait for your confirmations to line up, and that's when we execute, right? So just a couple minutes later, we do get a little bit of rejection from this 1 minute bullish fair value gap, but then it evidently does inverse, right, fully. So now all I'm looking for is a slight pullback to get my entry. And I ended up getting my entry right at the bottom of this 1 minute gap after it was inversed, all right? And I'm actually targeting this order block right over here that was set yesterday or in previous sessions, right? So what do? I mark this out. It is a 1 minute order block, so I want to make sure that I'm putting the exact time that it's on, just so I don't get confused, because obviously 1 minute and 5 minute order blocks, fair value gaps, they do weigh a little bit less than higher time frame order blocks and fair value gaps. And if you want further detail, you could always check out my order block versus breaker block, my fair value gap versus inverse fair value gap videos, all in my Trading Gold Futures 101 playlist. All right, it is on my channel. Feel free to check all of those videos out. I'm going to be releasing a few more throughout the week, just so you guys could not miss a beat, have everything, all the basics right in front of you, so you guys could look back, take notes, watch as many times over as you need in order for you guys to feel fully confident in the basic models of what market structure is, what these charts consist of, what these candlesticks mean individually, and how to utilize them in live time, okay? So it's a 1 minute chart. I'm looking for a quick trade. I'm not looking for anything too big. It is Tuesday. We don't have any news this morning, so I'm not really looking for anything too drastic, too big. All I really want to see, I want to see this 1 minute order block get tapped into, right? So that was my initial take profit margin. I was not looking for any type of break even point because of how choppy this market has been. I did set myself a very tight 4-point stop loss, so I didn't really risk that much, all right? But I did want to leverage a little bit more because of how small the move was going to be, how small the trade was that I was targeting. I did leverage a little bit more than I usually do, all right, and it actually did end up paying out. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how everything played out in my favor this morning, okay? So as soon as we get that clear sign of rejection from this 1 minute fair value gap, we got the inversion. That's when I entered. I entered as soon as we got the inversion. And that's all you need when you're looking for a continuation model targeting previous lows, right? You get an inversion, you get a sweep, a manipulation sweep of a high or a low, inverse fair value gap, you enter. That is the only sign you really need. And a lot of people are going to confuse you, tell you that you need 10 different confluences to line up. My strategy is very simple to follow. It's very simple to learn. Yes, I'm not going to say it's going to take you guys one night to learn. It does take time for you guys to really learn the patterns, learn the continuation, learn the candlesticks. So give yourself some grace. If it is taking you a little bit of time, don't worry about it. It took me 5 years of trial and error to really figure this strategy out, create it one of my own, and really capitalize and utilize it on a day-to-day basis, right? So I've only been in this trade about 4 minutes, and we're already seeing some very good progress, right? I don't want to go break even, like I said, because we are very volatile. So I am pretty scared that as soon as I go break even, I'm going to get a stop hunt, and then my take profit margin is going to get tapped into. So I didn't even bother going break even this morning. And it's a good thing I didn't, because halfway through my trade, it would have stopped me out, right? But we do get another inversion. And that is my last sign of defense. Once we got this inversion on another 1 minute bullish fair value gap, that is actually when I did decide to take my risk off the table, because I honestly was not too confident that my full take profit was going to get hit this morning, but I just wanted to stay safe, right? It's better to be safe than sorry. It was a very quick trade today. 10:03, I was already done for the day, and I was moving on with my life, moving on with my day. I was getting ready to go to the gym shortly after this, and I met up with my partner. We went over some business plans for the following week and for the remaining of this week, and just went to go enjoy some profits for lunch, you know what I mean? It's a very quick and easy trade this morning. It was a choppy movement, a choppy market this morning leading up to market open in New York session. London session wasn't really too volatile overnight, so I was not looking for a 100-point move. We don't need a home run every single day. Yes, is it great when we catch one? Absolutely. But you don't need a home run every single day in order to become profitable in these markets. All you need to do is stack base hits once a day, and that's it. And if you guess what? If you don't catch a trade every single day, it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up for it. You don't have to force yourself to get a trade every single day. Sometimes the market just simply doesn't give you what you're looking for, and it's completely fine not to take anything that doesn't seem appealing to you guys, right? This is your capital that you're trading. It is your capital at risk. So if you don't like it, why would you invest into it, right? Obviously, you want to do your research. You want to see what kind of news articles are going on for the day, any news articles that might have come out overnight that might play a role in the following sessions moving forward, so on and so forth, right? And you want to just create a base hit every single day, or at least as many times as you possibly can throughout the week, all right? This trade, like I said, it was a little bit smaller. It was only about 11 points, but I was only risking about 4. I did leverage a little bit higher than I normally do, okay? So my total profit, my P&L for today was $14.75, and that put me at $2,191 for the week, okay? I hope this is very educational for you guys. I hope you guys are gaining a ton of knowledge, seeing my lifetime thought process, my execution process, how I mark out my levels, how I mark out my take profits, my entries, any type of stop loss that I have set or marked out, and all my previous session highs and lows. I really hope you guys are understanding and grasping the concept that I'm trying to teach you guys, because it really isn't as hard as some other people may make it seem in the industry, okay? If you guys have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will leave my Instagram handle in the description below. So if you didn't want to leave anything in the comments, if you wanted to keep it private, I'm all for it. Just hit me with the DM, and I'll make sure to get back to every single one of you guys as soon as I possibly can, all right? I love every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys for all your support since the beginning. We finally broke 30 subscribers, all right? And it's only been about 2 weeks, so I honestly was not expecting this type of growth this fast. But again, this is only the beginning, and I promise you guys I'm only going to be getting better for you guys moving forward, okay? Till next time, love you all. Peace.